Okay, we're recording. We're eating popcorn. And we're learning about descriptive writing. So we're going to watch this video on descriptive writing and then talk about it. Ooh, and it's going to have to be a lot longer.
The chicken was good at dancing. Pretty straightforward.
Let me back it up just a little bit and let you start at the beginning.
Let's look at a couple of sentences. Ready? Okay, here's the first sentence. The chicken was good at dancing. Pretty straightforward. Now, for the second sentence. Despite being an ordinary egg-laying chicken, Ronaldo dazzled the cheering crowd as he peered confidently over the rims of his metallic gray sunglasses, while popping, locking, and sliding across the dance floor of the barn under the glittering lights of the makeshift disco ball. Which of these sentences would you want to read again? Did you select the second sentence? If you did, it's most likely because it was more interesting and helped to create a picture in your mind of Ronaldo the disco chicken. It sounds like he is an excellent dancer. The second sentence is an example of descriptive writing. Descriptive writing is when an author uses carefully selected words to help create a vivid picture in the reader's mind. Oftentimes, these words involve sensory details, which focus on the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and feelings that are associated with a particular topic. The goal of descriptive writing is for readers to feel like they are actually experiencing what an author is describing. For example, there were a few descriptions in the sentence that most likely helped you create a mental image of Ronaldo's dance feet, like cheering crowd. He peered confidently over the rims of his metallic gray sunglasses, popping, locking, and slide across the dance floor, glittering lights of the makeshift disco ball. Now that we've learned about descriptive writing, let's hatch a plan to figure out the best way to write a descriptive paragraph or essay. Sorry, but all these chicken jokes must be cracking you up, huh? If you're going to write a descriptive paragraph or essay, there are a few things that you should keep in mind when writing. The first thing to do is to use your senses. Once you have selected a topic to write about, it's important to start thinking about what sensory details you can include to help your readers feel like they are experiencing what you are writing. To do this, it helps to ask yourself the following questions. What does my topic look like? If I drew a picture of it, what would I draw? What does my topic sound like? What sounds do I think of when I think about my topic? What sounds would be near my topic? What does my topic smell like? What smells would be found near my topic? What does my topic taste like? If I had to describe my topic as a taste, what would it be? What does my topic feel like? What feelings do I think of when I think about my topic? Let's practice. Look at this image of a hamster. What are some sensory details that you would use to describe this picture? Come up with any ideas? I did. For example, the thin blue umbrella created a cool sanctuary for the exhausted hamster after a long day of continuous running on the hamster wheel. Or, like Einstein, the industrious hamster chose to create his island oasis by sticking the flimsy, light blue paper umbrella in the robustly ripe red apple. After you've thought about what sensory details to include, it's time to write. Once you've written your descriptive paragraph or essay, it's important to revise it. Oftentimes, people describe topics only by what they see. With descriptive writing, it's important to choose words that can help the reader experience what you are writing. When you are revising, think about the following questions. Have I described the topic in ways other than just what it looks like? Can I compare my topic to another person, place, thing, or situation that the reader might know? When I read my writing, do I feel like I am experiencing what is written, or is it hard to imagine and relate to what I am reading? When writing a descriptive paragraph or essay, you use descriptive writing to help create a vivid picture of your topic in the reader's mind through the use of sensory details. Before you write, it is important to think about how to describe the topic using your five senses. After writing, you should revise your work and look to add details that help the reader better visualize and relate to your topic.
Okay, close that for a minute. All right, so we're going to write a paragraph about our popcorn together. Somebody give me a topic sentence.
Popcorn is delicious.
Popcorn is delicious, okay? Popcorn is delicious. All right, we're writing a descriptive paragraph.
Wait, is that the title?
That's
the topic.
That's our topic sentence. Okay? Our topic sentence. All right, who's going to give me our next sentence? Using the senses, we're writing a sentence.
When you bite into it,
When you bite into it is crisp. When you bite into it, and we indent our paragraph, so we come back over here, bite into it, it is crisp.
It's fluffy like a marshmallow, but has the crisp of a chip.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it does.
Polar opposites.
No, like it's soft on the. It's like soft like a marshmallow, but it has like the crunch of a chip. Yes, it does. It'll melt in your mouth like a marshmallow.
Okay. So
It do melt.
how are we going to write that as a sentence? Huh? When you bite into it, it's crisp like a chip. Do we want to add that? Okay, I'm telling you right now, this is probably not a good idea when you bite into it. So we've got to change one of these words, okay? So when you bite into
When you bite
a
into
piece,
of popcorn.
maybe like that? It is crisp like a chip. All right, you can give me another sentence regarding the senses. Remember, it's taste here, touch.
It smells like the theater when you go to the theater. It smells like when you first walk into the theater and you get the smell of butter and oil.
So let's make that into a sentence.
the smell is as familiar as a baby corpse.
The smell is familiar like a movie theater,
Or similar to.
or maybe reminds.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Let's do reminds. Remove is you of a movie theater.
I did it first.
All right.
You need to remove the is.
Remove the is. The smell reminds you. Thank you. Good catch, Hannah. All right. What else? Y'all are being good peer editors. All right. What's our next sentence? Paragraph has to have about 6 to 8 sentences. At least 5 up here. So help me out. Popcorn is delicious. When you bite into a piece, it is crisp like a chip.
It feels like
The
popcorn.
smell reminds you of a movie theater.
The texture is very soft.
The texture
Soft yet crunchy.
The only thing I can think of is
is soft. Okay. What else? All right. Let's think about this. We've got smell. We've got taste. We've got touch. Hearing.
Sound.
It sounds
Crunchy.
Sounds
Crunchy.
crunchy.
Sounds like you're rubbing rubber against your teeth.
Great. You're
That's what it reminds me of!
All right. The sound is crunchy. What else?
Oh, she can smell it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear Olivia. What?
What sense do we need?
What sense do we need?
Hearing, seeing, knowing, having.
Hearing, seeing, touch, taste, smell.
Did you see them?
See? What do you see when you look at it?
No, look, I did it 3 times already. They have
Somebody come up with a sentence regarding seeing. Yes,
It sounds as crunchy as a
it sounds crunchy, okay. We're gonna take out is. It sounds crunchy.
makes your fingers greasy. The texture
It
is.
makes your fingers greasy.
You know what you could do? You know what you could do for the texture is soft? You can make it longer by saying the texture is as soft as a marshmallow.
That's what you're gonna do. Alright, I'm still waiting on this scene. Somebody give me a scene sentence, guys. Can you give me a scene sentence?
What do you see when you see popcorn?
Like atom. Like a molecular.
It looks like an adult
Huh?
song.
You say it looks like heaven.
It looks like you're, oh, it makes,
It
huh?
looks like a corn kernel exploded.
Popcorn looks like what?
I think it looks like heaven.
Oh, popcorn looks like heaven? Okay.
It looks like a corn kernel exploded.
That's what it is. That's literally, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Popcorn looks like heaven?
Popcorn.
Maybe
looks
yellow
like a
heaven?
corn- It looks like a corn kernel that exploded.
Alright, somebody come up with a concluding sentence.
In conclusion, popcorn, it looks, tastes, and feels like heaven. Or paradise.
In conclusion,
I'm trying to think.
it looks, tastes,
It looks like heaven. Wait.
and
Feels
feels.
Yes, I saw
She's
that.
dead. You're so proud of me.
Alright. So I've written a descriptive paragraph. Let's hear edit now. So popcorn is delicious. Anything wrong with that topic sentence? Thank you. Yes. So what are we gonna fix? So is there anything wrong with popcorn is delicious?
No.
No, that's a good topic sentence. Right. What about the next sentence? When you bite into a piece, it is crisp like a chip.
I don't like it.
Anything wrong with that? You don't like it? Well, then you have to come up with a better sentence.
Alright, I think it could be like worded better. When you bite into
A piece of popcorn.
Okay.
Popcorn.
It is as crispy as a chip.
It's crispy as something flying over a cloud.
It is crispy.
It is crispy like the sun on an autumn morning.
Real
Alright, that's serious descriptive writing, but it is crispier like a chip, or it's crispy.
Warm up fire.
Tell me what we're gonna do with that second sentence.
No one's got it.
I gotta watch her time.
Warm fire.
Alright, when you bite into a piece of popcorn, it is crisp like a chip. The smell reminds you of a movie theater. The texture is soft. It sounds crunchy. It makes your fingers greasy. Popcorn looks like heaven. In conclusion, it looks, tastes, and feels like paradise. Hannah said there's too many its. Tell me how to fix it.
You also might want to remove it sounds crunchy because that just moves up to the second sentence.
This one sounds too much like that one?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna
You
kill that
already
one.
stated that one.
Alright, so how do we remove some of the its? What do we change
Texture is
to?
soft and makes your fingers greasy.
Okay, the texture is soft and makes your fingers greasy. I'm trying to teach y'all how to edit your paragraphs because when I get to them, I start grading and want you to do a really good job. But you need to be your own first editor, and then you use your peer editor, and then you go back and be your own editor. So we're trying to teach you how to edit. The texture is soft and makes your fingers greasy. Anybody see anything
The
else?
texture is as soft as a pillow.
It's like
Nobody wants to use my ideas.
We're only editing what's up here.
Nobody likes it.
Any other improvements? Huh? So we have popcorn is delicious. When you bite into a piece of popcorn, it is crisp like a chip. The smell reminds you of a movie theater. The texture is soft and makes your fingers greasy. Popcorn looks like heaven. In conclusion, it looks, tastes, and feels like paradise.
Popcorn looks like heaven, just seems too random.
Looks like heaven.
Like, it's just, like, you need to place it somewhere else. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't want to.
Popcorn is delicious and it looks like heaven. That could work.
Okay. What do y'all think about that? It's delicious and looks like heaven. What if we make this up here?
I thought they did something. Yay!
What do y'all think about that? Alright, last time. Popcorn is delicious and looks like heaven. When you bite into a piece of popcorn, it is crisp like a chip. The smell reminds you of a movie theater. The texture is soft and makes your fingers greasy. In conclusion, it looks, tastes, and feels like paradise. Everybody proud of themselves? Good,
Yes.
Good paragraph? Alright, do you understand descriptive writing then?
Yes.
You understand descriptive writing? Okay. Good. All right. We have one more movie to watch really quick. Y'all did really well writing a descriptive paragraph. And you'll be working on those this week. Not necessarily on the topic of popcorn, but I'm expecting good things with your paragraphs because we practiced this in class. All right, next, we are watching our next movie. Now, there's something very important in writing, and that's plagiarism. And it's very important you know how to paraphrase without plagiarizing. Yes, please make sure you pick up any loose popcorn laying around and things like that. So, all right, so we're gonna watch this paraphrasing without plagiarizing. I can't emphasize enough, you have got to learn how to distinguish not to plagiarize, because we don't tolerate plagiarizing here, and for a colleges will just kick you out. You won't even get to stay if you plagiarize for a paper. They usually fail you the first time, sometimes, but most of the time they just kick you out of the school. So it's very important you understand, don't plagiarize. So this is paraphrasing without plagiarism. So let's make sure we pay attention. And it would help if I turn the sound up on it.
My mouth is all greasy on the inside.
I told you.
Oh,
It's like a layer of grease on the skin.
oh, it works fine. Okay, hold on. Technical difficulty. We'll go in. I know y'all don't want me to have to assign seats, so. All right, we'll try again. This is not, it's gotta be the chord.
Is it looks like it's loose.
Huh?
Is it loose right there at the, where's
Sometimes we have chords that don't work. And for it not to work with the sound, but it worked with the last one.
Is the projector on?
Oh, thank you.
The author's exact
There we go.
words. You just need to quickly
Little technical
describe his
difficulty.
I'm a genius.
That's called
Yes, you
paraphrasing.
are. Very good.
For example, on a writing
All right,
project.
here we go.
When you are working on a writing project, you often want to report something that someone else said. For example, you might need to use information from a book or a reading passage to support your own argument. Sometimes you do this by quoting directly from the source text. For example, you might say something like, "The Declaration of Independence says that all men are created equal." But sometimes you don't want to quote the author's exact words. You just need to quickly describe his or her main point. That's called paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is using your own words to report another author's ideas while crediting the author for the original thought. For example,
you could paraphrase the Declaration of Independence by saying, "The Declaration of Independence asserts the fundamental equality of all men." Here, you are still getting the idea of equality, but you've put it in your own words and dropped the quotation marks. Paraphrasing is a great way to summarize someone's argument, but when you paraphrase, it's important not to accidentally start plagiarizing. Plagiarism is trying to pass off another author's exact words or ideas as your own. Here's an example of what not to do. The Declaration of Independence says that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. There are no quotation marks here, so this sentence is trying to claim the language of the Declaration as your own writing. That's dishonest. It's a form of stealing. It's also plagiarizing if you use someone else's idea, but don't say where you got it from. Plagiarizing is not acceptable under any circumstances. If your teachers catch you doing it on purpose, they might give you a failing grade for the paper or even for the class. It's also unacceptable on standardized tests like the TOEFL. So in this lesson, you'll learn how to paraphrase without plagiarizing, even accidentally. Many students who struggle with paraphrasing don't mean to steal anything. They just don't know effective strategies for reporting someone else's ideas without using their exact words. So here are some concrete strategies for paraphrasing without veering into plagiarism. We'll use the sentence, "The Declaration of Independence states that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain..." is to replace
Oh dear. It's still continuing.
the structure of the sentences. Phrase by just changing
I don't know
or by
why.
substituting synonyms.
Okay. Pause. Are we having trouble? Projector. Okay.
Here's how to do it.
Here we go.
Look away from the source text and write your paraphrase on a clean piece of paper. This will help you engage with the author's idea and not accidentally start following his or her wording too closely. Imagine that you're explaining the original text to someone who doesn't understand it. This will force you to come up with different ways to phrase important ideas. If key concepts are expressed using one part of speech, try expressing them with another. For example, the adjective equal is a key word in the original text. In your paraphrase, you might change it to the noun equality. Try using these tips right now. Pause the video, grab a piece of paper, and try to express the quoted idea in our original sentence in your own words. Remember to change the grammatical structure of the thought, not just one or two words. Have you got your version down? Now let's take a look at some potential paraphrases. There are many possible ways that you could paraphrase this idea without plagiarizing. No one of them is inherently better than another. These are just a few of the possible options. The Declaration of Independence stresses the fundamental equality and inherent rights of all men. According to the Declaration of Independence, equality and certain rights naturally belong to all men. The Declaration of Independence asserts the equality of all men and claims that they have fundamental rights that nobody can violate. Notice how these paraphrases don't follow the grammatical patterns of the original text. The sentences are structured differently, and ideas are expressed using different parts of speech, for example, using equality instead of equal. To check your own paraphrase, label the grammatical structures. Put an S over every subject, a V over every verb, and an O over every object. Mark subordinate clauses and prepositional phrases with underlines. Do the same for the original and compare the two. They should look noticeably different. If your paraphrase is too similar to the original, don't give up. Keep practicing with different quotations and sentences, and you'll get better with experience. In this lesson, you learned the difference between paraphrasing and plagiarizing, and got some tips for discussing other people's opinions without plagiarizing or being dishonest. Paraphrasing is restating someone else's opinion in your own words, while still crediting the idea to the original author. There's nothing wrong with paraphrasing, but make sure you don't fall into the trap of plagiarizing. Plagiarizing is stealing another person's exact words and trying to pass them off as your own, or using someone else's ideas without giving them credit. If you do want to use someone else's exact words, put them in quotation marks so the reader knows they aren't yours, and always remember to cite the source of any ideas that aren't yours. When you want to paraphrase someone else's ideas in your own writing, follow these tips to avoid plagiarizing. Use different grammatical structures. The structure of your sentence should look completely different from the original. Look away from the original sentence when you write your version, and pretend you're explaining it to someone else who doesn't understand. Check your paraphrase by labeling grammatical structures in the original and in your paraphrased version.
No. Oh, yeah? Maybe the bulbs.
Keep working at
on this.
Paraphrasing like a pro.
Okay, well, all right. So those last few tips at the end were very important. And all of you can identify subject, verb. So if your sentence structure is exactly the same, you may be, not paraphrasing without plagiarizing. So be really careful about that. Questions? Everybody understand what they're supposed to turn in next week? Everybody understand they're supposed to bring it printed? Okay. No questions? Awesome. There will be quiz 6 next week.
I'll make sure to email 3 weeks to you before the date's out. Okay?
Yes. And if you owe me an assignment for today, I've got to have it before the end of the day. Have a great week. Be sure and thank Ms. Gaskin for popping our popcorn for us today. Not this Ms. Gaskin. The older Ms. Gaskin.
You know Miss Jackson forever. Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson, Miss Jackson. She's always been called Miss Jackie. She's always been called Miss Jackie. That's always been her name.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you, Casey. I haven't even turned it off yet.